Hey everyone, welcome to Worm Feeding, season 1, episode 2. I'm already messing it up, but that's okay. Let's jump straight into it. This, as you know, is just the coco core. Here's a fella right here. If you can see right here, here's a red wiggler, I can tell just by the way he looks. So, this is all coco core here. What I normally do, just to start things off, we're gonna do a little bit different feeding this time. We're gonna give them, we all know what these are, just old dry leaves. Don't throw your leaves away, just keep your leaves. I'm just gonna go, just kind of like yay, you know what I mean? Sprinkle it on the top, give them some organic matter, because once we stir this all up, it's just gonna get mixed all up in there. So when they're going from A to B, you know, it goes in their mouth and out their butt. So this is all good. It all works out in the end. We're gonna do that. And if anyone eat eggs, you know, just eggshells, crush them up, grind them up. I just threw them in my blender. Gave them, you know, a good minute. Try not to breathe this in, especially when it's real fine. I'm hearing it's not too great for your lungs, so keep that in mind. Yeah, you don't have to go too crazy. What the eggshells does is it kind of gives them some grit, because worms don't have any teeth. So whatever helps them get through their food quicker, you know, I'm all for it. So I'm gonna do that. And then we have these spent coffee grounds here. I did 10 of the little pods. I do 5 each. I have 2 of these bins. So I'll just kind of, you know, eyeball it. Try to do about half-ish. Doesn't have to be perfect, you know. Just get a little in there. And then last but not least, your cardboard. I mean, like I said, once it's on the curb, you know, you can just go pick that up and say thanks, or not even say thanks, that's up to you. But if you've got boxes laying around and you have a decent shredder, you don't even really need a shredder. I mean, if you just want to go Eduardo scissor hands, you know, and get some scissors going with these, that all works too. So we did that. All right, we got everything. See, now I'm just gonna fluff. See, I can feel their soil here. It's still nice and wet. No need to add any water whatsoever. And I mentioned this in my first video. There's no smell of food or anything in here whatsoever. If anything, when you bring this up, when you first get your soil, you know, when you water it, it gives you that nice familiar smell. That's all this is. It's just earth. Here's a buddy down there. So, like I said, if I had to guess, I'd say there was at least 1,000 in here. This bin's probably about 2 years old now. So what I do is I just work myself all the way around. You know, I don't have my editor yet, so I'll try to get through this not too quick, but you know, people got things to do, and I get it. So, oh, here we go. See, with the banana peels, it takes them a little bit to break these down, but you can see they're working at it here. So they're all in there. So just to kind of give you a little of how many worms you can get going. I hope you guys can see all this, because there's a whole bunch of clumps of worms here. So we're just gonna keep that food there, just break it up a little bit. See, I don't even really need to be adding any food. I might have given them a little too much, because they still have a little bit to work on. But I'm gonna try something different with these guys. I'm gonna set this off to the side. You guys can stay with the party. I didn't mean to separate you. Just kind of get it all mixed up. And what we're gonna do this time is called a slurry. I got some stuff already blended up. So what we're gonna do a little trench down the middle here. We're gonna take our slurry mix, and now what this is a stick, some blueberries, banana peels, banana, a couple strawberries, a couple grapes, and some more blueberries because she's pretty purple. But before we dump it, I almost forgot. We're gonna want to lay this down nice and thick because this is awfully juicy. And we want this to soak up a lot of it because while we want this to be a good, 80% humid wet, we don't want it to be like a lagoon. We don't want the swamp creature crawling out of here one morning when we're feeding. So now all I'm gonna do, pour it across the top like that. Now, like I said, I have 2 bins, so I'm just gonna do do about half. Try not to make too much of a mess in here because I'm in my tent. Get some more cardboard. Bring these worms back to the party. Give them a little cover. Like I said, this is like the Lotel Motel here. Everyone's eating and, other activities. So as long as you keep them happy in here, they're going to keep reproducing. And like I said, after every harvest, I'm getting great castings out of these guys. And that's pretty much all I do. Now, what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to come back in a couple days and I'm going to check just to see what they're doing with that slurry. Because the banana peels it takes them a little bit to break them down. That's kind of like a slower food source for them. So I wanted to put that fast food source just to kind of see. But yeah, I mean, I can keep you guys updated. If you want, let me know if you have any questions. This is pretty much all I do. You can even sprinkle a few more leaves on top. You can even get in here. It didn't need much, but if you want, you can just kind of spray the top. Just kind of wet the top down a little bit. So when you go to, this is what I use to cover them. I'll use this bubble wrap. It works fine. Sometimes you can even have some fellas that are kind of wiggling their way through here. I don't know if they find it like a little maze and it's fun for them. I don't know. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. And like next week, I'll come back and rinse and repeat. I got to do the other one right now, but thank you for stopping by. And if you have any questions, let me know. This is all I do for the worming, and that's it. So as long as you eat decent, and like you have eggshells, if you eat eggs, just wash them, let them dry, grind them up real well. Spent coffee grounds. Your old leaves, just put them in a bucket. That's what I normally do. My trimmings, when I'm in the tent crawling around doing the Rambo under there, I'll just throw them in a bucket and just let them dry out. Like I said, hold on to them, hold on to your cardboard, cut it all up, get it in there. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping by. We will see everyone. Have a good night, day.